You're watching NappyCast by Jason Nappy Weather. Let's get right to the visible satellite. I want to show you all of that wildfire smoke coming down from Canada right now. You see all of this here just outside of Philadelphia, right? Anything south of that, this is all wildfire smoke here, okay? This is all coming down from the wildfires from Canada. And this upper level low that's moving up eastern Canada is pulling all of that smoke down from Canada right now. Okay, so it's a lot. It's very widespread. Some of it making it down to ground level, so it is unhealthy if you're working outdoors, especially if you're sensitive to things like the smoke. So be very careful in a good chunk of the country. Southeast, back towards the Ohio River Valley, the Midwest, the plains, you're seeing that smoke. This system here that's driving that, this upper level low, is going to pull north, okay? So eventually that smoke's going to be pulled up into New England. And then we've got another front coming through here across the heartland and the plains. That's going to be the next weather maker to come through the middle of the country in about a day or so, okay? But let's talk about the smoke. I want to track that in more detail here. All of this, all these colors here, where each of the bright colors, it's very dense, that smoke. That's all pushing down to the south and eventually pushing up towards the east as that upper level low continues to pull it and gets out of here, okay? So there will be smoke in New England by Wednesday at the latest. I also want to talk about the severe geomagnetic storm alert we are under. Almost the entire country under this one. Now, not everyone's going to see the northern lights. However, this has a potential to get to a G5, which is the highest index, the highest storm level right now. So this is going to affect things like GPS, okay? If you're driving and you use GPS, satellites, okay? Those kind of things will be affected. Now, after 8 o'clock tonight is when you're going to be able to see the northern lights if the sky is clear where you live, okay? And a good chunk of the country is going to see a clear sky. So here's a look at the aurora forecast by the space weather. Okay, so here is the aurora making it all the way down. Now, the visible line goes all the way down through Ohio. However, if you look to the north, and I really think this is going to make it down to the Gulf Coast, okay? And then tomorrow night, after 8 o'clock, another one. Now, it's not supposed to be as severe, but tonight, I mean, we have a really good shot to see the aurora borealis, the northern lights, all the way down to the Gulf Coast, okay? That's the Gulf down to Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Yeah, that Gulf. I mean, I think in Maine, it's a no-brainer. You're going to see that. Now, as we go forward here in the forecast, I want to take a look and show you what the tropics heating up. Now, this is June 12th. It's just one computer model, and I expect it to be dead wrong. But this one here, this is the GFS that everyone makes fun of for good reason. This shows a pretty big hurricane in the Gulf on June 12th, June 13th. I expect that is not going to be happening, okay? I don't believe that happens at all. However, if we go to a much more reliable computer model, that's the European model, notice here, this one, if we go out through June 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th, there is no hurricane in the Gulf, okay? So let's back things up a little bit, and let me take you through it basically day by day. So here goes your upper level low that pushes out, and then here comes your front that comes in from the west here. This is coming through middle of this week. But notice where this high is. Watch very closely here. This high is very close to Bermuda, which is over here. This is going to pump in a southwest breeze into New England and give us our first unofficial heat wave of the season that is coming for this week. So Wednesday and Thursday. So this trough, where all the showers and clouds that are right now, is going to get out of here, and then watch the ridge that comes in, okay, behind the trough. Watch the ridging here. I'm going to put this map into motion. Here's your ridge, okay? So that is going to be heat coming up from the south. Anytime you see a ridge, that system gets off the coast, and you get a ridge to build here out ahead of this front, and you are going to have heat and humidity, because this air is coming in from the Gulf, right? From way down the Gulf Coast, Louisiana, that we're going to get a piece of that humidity. Look at the temperature anomalies here in New England, especially as you head well inland, especially into the mountains, especially where you're going to see temperatures spike 10, 15, 20 degrees above typical. Now, this time of the year, the high is typically 70. I expect some 90s to pop up with this, especially when you add dew points in the low and mid 60s in the forecast, okay? So there's big changes coming on the weather highway. Now I'm going to transition and show things for my loyal followers in Maine. If you want to stay around for that, I'm going to switch over and show you all that going on. We've got big changes coming. Showers and clouds north and east. You see the showers still in Bangor right now, up in Aroostook County. Okay, some breaks down in Lewiston, Auburn. Northern lights are going to be out tonight away from the mountains. Okay, and you can go to my website. You can subscribe on Facebook. I've got the first preview. I'll talk about it in more detail about the cloud forecast, right? So you'll know if you'll be able to see the northern lights. And then it gets hot, humid, and smoky next week. Okay, so in the mountains, that's where the showers are going to be around again today and tomorrow, 62. But look at even the mountains, mid 80s by Wednesday. Thunderstorms late Thursday, and then another Saturday with rain. I've lost count how many. We've seen Saturdays with consecutive rainfall. Weekends, we're now in double digits with rainfall. We're doing it all over again. And then, and then we clear out next week. We're going to see those 70s back on the board. Now, inland, you've got a temperature of around 70, still a few showers on Monday. We don't clear out until Tuesday, and then 85 and 90. Heat and humidity, and the wildfire smoke comes in on Wednesday. Showers are back Friday, Saturday. That's when it's going to be heaviest again. And then next week after that, we start to clear out with the 70s back in the forecast. At the coastline, take a look at this, 67. Still have a few showers in there on Monday with that upper level low, that surface trough pulling through. Tuesday, Wednesday, 70s. We're going to have a sea breeze. And then on Thursday, that's before the cold front gets down from the north, is where we're going to have that heat. It's going to be uncomfortable. 60s for lows with high humidity. And then the showers come in Friday and Saturday. Right now, Sunday, the better of the 2 days. Again, if you're making plans for outdoors. And then we clear out next week in the forecast. The latest details are on nappycast.com.